to the show. This is The Force Always. My name is Diz, a.k.a. David Zammit, or the other way around, whatever you like. Let's get on with the show with the news, the views, the reviews and interviews. Making news is Disney has announced their Disney Plus 2026 slate. And unfortunately at this stage, Ahsoka fans are not going to see Ahsoka in 2026. But that is at the moment. It still could be announced. We've just got to wait and see. But there's no real date set for Ahsoka. There are other things like Maul Shadow Lord, which is going to be epic. And I think there's another sort of Japanese animation release coming out as well on Disney Plus. Wait for that. To more news, well, as I always say, no news is good news. That's regarding Starfighter and Mandalorian and Grogu, which are the ones that are of interest. No news at all. Nothing. That's good for now. Anyway, that's the news. Let's get into views. Views is my story idea. I accept Star Wars for what it is from the start to finish of the Star Wars timeline. Just to let you know, doesn't mean I love it, doesn't mean I hate it, it's definitely a great adventure from start to finish, no matter what. Anyway, this is just a bit of fun, that I have with story ideas. My story idea this time is with Ahsoka. Ahsoka, to me, the best time, the most interesting, captivating time was when Ahsoka toned down her look, her colourful look, and sort of got more earth tones to her sort of costuming. And also when she walked away from the Jedi Order because of just not being so disappointed because of she was accused of some things, and then she was tried in a court system, can you believe it, and was then found not guilty. But after being put through that process, she just couldn't take it. My story idea is should the connection of that time period carry on into Ahsoka in season 2? And I think yes. I thought when she toned down her look in the earth color tones and she was taken more seriously, especially walking away from the Jedi Order, that to me was just interesting. That was confronting. It was like, it really just showed people who were saying that they're Jedi in real life here on earth, second thinking that. And I am one, not because of that particular reason, but from a lot of things that the Jedi did that we didn't know of until we got to see particular movies in the last decade or so. Just, sipping that. So I definitely would carry on the storyline of her walking away from the Jedi Order and sort of really having a whole teaching of her point of view and the Jedi point of view, and really coming together once again. I know that sounds like, typical Hollywood sort of type of, writing, but I think coming together in life, in any form of life, is important. And to find our similarities with each other is great. It's a very, life sort of telling type story that can be told in Star Wars, especially in the Ahsoka point where she walked away from the Jedi, disappointed, but then coming back together and having the Jedi realize, expanding that story. There was a little bit of chit-chatter and storyline with that, but I would like to see more of that. That's what I would keep writing Ahsoka around as one part of the Ahsoka story. Not all of it, just one part. Let's get into reviews. As we are in the month of The Force Awakens 10-year anniversary, Actually, today I think is it's coming like less than a week now to Christmas. I think that's what it is. So here is a figure, one of my classic many figures, as you can sort of see in the back here. I've got many types of things, but this is a Force Awakens figure. That is Admiral Akbar, who appeared in The Force Awakens. Not massively, but enough. He's the one from, the original trilogy, which is, episodes 4, episodes 5, episode 6 of the cinematic release of Star Wars. And then he appeared in episode 7. Admiral Akbar, I hold this very prized. I wish I had the original Admiral Akbar, which I did, but through certain circumstances, had lost it, not from my own fault, but through a story I'll tell you one day. But anyway, this here I'll give the character, look, I'll say an 8 out of 10. I'm not the biggest Admiral Akbar fan. I do love the species. I do love Admiral Akbar, but it's just not one of my ones that I go, man, look at that. But because it's rare, yes. But 8 out of 10 for that one. Force Awakens, episode 7, just in case you didn't know. Anyway, so let's get into interviews. Interviews is usually my comments that I get online. That's through the YouTube channel. If you're going to send your comments or questions, make sure it's in the last video that I have done, which now will be this one. And I will answer it or just read it in the next episode. Obviously aware it is for the show in an appropriate manner, and it suits what we're talking about, which is Star Wars. So Michael from Werribee South is a popular person with this sort of thing. He's from Werribee South. That's a part of Melbourne, Australia. And his first question is, that's not his first. First question was, who did Zac Efron play in Star Wars? Zac Efron, I have actually, just to let you know, I won't tell you what it exactly is, but I have worked with Zac Efron. How? Well, I appeared as an extra in a movie with him. I was right next to him, like probably that far away from him. He's a short guy. But who did Zac Efron play in Star Wars? He actually played Anakin Skywalker in the Robot Chicken series. Robot Chicken was a spoof type, modern day spoof sort of thing. And Zac Efron played Anakin Skywalker in that series. The next question, can you believe it, from Michael from Werribee South is, who did Ed Sheeran play in Star Wars? He actually played a stormtrooper that got cut, and then he played a small alien that really doesn't show his face. But that's who Ed Sheeran played in Star Wars. So let's get into another question by Michael from Werribee South. And while I'm just going through this, you can send in your comments, your questions, obviously on the YouTube channel. I don't really have an Instagram. And just while I have a moment here, subscribe to the channel, press notifications. You'll get a reminder. I'm here usually 3 or 4 times a week, giving you the news, views, reviews, and interviews, just to give you that little bit of an advert to subscribe to the channel. No matter what, I am the Force always. I'm always here as the Force, always. Anyway, the next question from Michael from Werribee South is, does Adam Sandler play in Star Wars? No, he does not. People do sometimes get confused. Adam Driver with Adam Sandler somehow. But no, he does not play anything Star Wars. That's the answer, Michael from Werribee South's question. What a question that is. Unbelievable. But anyway, let's get into the next question again from Michael from Werribee South. Who did Leonardo DiCaprio play in Star Wars? Well, this actually is interesting because if there's any famous person I would have liked to see play something in Star Wars, and this person suited the look and the feel so good that I would have agreed to it. But I just rather unknowns. I think having unknowns in Star Wars is the way to go. Anyone that is of any caliber of famous is, too much for Star Wars. You need to sort of tone it down. But DiCaprio was meant to play Anakin Skywalker. But because he's so recognisable, Lucas sort of backed away and chose Hayden Christensen, what I think is a great choice. And DiCaprio would have done well, but he didn't get it. Christensen did, and I have met Christensen as well a couple of times. I've got a signed lightsaber, which is an Anakin Skywalker saber, which I got signed in Japan Celebration. I've got a photo with him that I got done in Chicago Celebration, Star Wars Celebration, just to let you know. And I've spoken to him at length in congratulating him and thanking him for his work, because I think he's good. Anyway, so the next question, was Sylvester Stallone in Star Wars? This is a question by Michael from Werribee South. He was going for the part of Han Solo, but he didn't get it. I'm sort of glad that Harrison Ford got it, because I would have preferred him. He's a bit more suave. But I do like Sylvester Stallone. He's, Rambo, he's Rocky. My favourite Rocky is Rocky 4. And, unfortunately, to go against the Star Wars franchise, the best revenge film ever is Rocky 4. Revenge of the Sith is a very good film. But if you want to feel revenge, watch Rocky 4, Sylvester Stallone. But anyway, that's the answer to the question. Another one from Michael from Werribee South. Who was the girl fired from Star Wars? It was Gina Carano. She played a part in The Mandalorian. In fact, her last actual episode that we ever got to see with her was probably the most iconic Mandalorian episode, was when Luke Skywalker came in and saved the day. That was the last time we saw her. Will we ever see her again? I would say yes, but I don't know. It's just my speculation. The next question from Michael, and the final question from Michael from Werribee South, and the final question from interviews is, who was Matt Smith supposed to play in Star Wars? He's actually playing a lead villain, apparently, in the new Starfighter film. And we've seen his haircut on the last episode, what partly he may look like. But Matt Smith was going to play a part in Star Wars before that, and he was going to play Emperor Palpatine's son. I think that was actually a very good choice, very good idea, but, whether that worked out or not, I don't know. It definitely is something I'd look at. I think it would be a good idea. But anyway, that's what Matt Smith was meant to play, was Emperor Palpatine's son, but now he's going to be a lead villain in the next one. So I think the wait paid off for this guy. Matt Smith, that is. Anyway, that's the show for this time around. Subscribe to this channel, The Force Always, if you like the channel. If you press notifications actually when you subscribe. It will help you get a reminder that I've put up an episode. Anyway, until next time, my friends, keep rocking.